Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we are going to have a class from Homes on Wheels Alliance at the virtual RTR 2021. And so I think you're going to really enjoy it. And with me is Sue Ann Carlson, the Executive Director of Homes on Wheels Alliance, who did an awful lot of the work, amazing amount of work, on putting this all together. So, Sue Ann, tell us about a little bit about what's going on here.
So from January 14th to January 21st, 2021, we have online RTR and women's RTR classes that will be offered on the Homes on Wheels Alliance YouTube channel. But what we're doing is we're taking those and doing a condensed version of them and moving them over to the Cheap RV Living YouTube channel. And that's what you're watching here.
So this is a monetized channel, but all the money that you make by watching the videos, you're going to make me money by watching the videos, all of that money will be forwarded to, from now on and forever, will be forwarded to Homes on Wheels Alliance. So I'm not making any money on this. It will be a contribution to Homes on Wheels Alliance. Now, because this is a condensed version, there's a whole version on the Homes on Wheels Alliance YouTube channel. And if you go there, you'll see the whole thing, including questions and answers afterwards. So while this is condensed, you can see the whole thing by going to Homes on Wheels Alliance. And how will they find that?
In your YouTube channel search bar, type in Homes on Wheels Alliance, and it will come up.
So once you go to the channel, or this channel, Cheap RV Living, there will be a playlist that says RTR, Virtual RTR 2021. And so you can see all the classes there in order and see them all at once. So next, we're going to play the video of the class, and I hope you enjoy it and learn a lot from it, and we'll see you at the end of the video.
I'm Sue Ann Carlson, the Executive Director of Homes on Wheels Alliance, your host for the 11th Annual Rubber Tramp Rendezvous, otherwise known as the RTR. This morning, our topic is about budgeting, and specifically how to make budgeting fun. Our speaker is Kim Tanzer. Kim has been a nomad for 3 years. Kim's rig is a Class C RV. Kim has a YouTube channel that I would very much encourage you to check out. It's called Roam Town Girl, and it's in the description below, and it's roam like roaming, R-O-A-M, Roam Town Girl. So with that, Kim, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and looking forward to hearing how to make budgeting fun.
I have a theory on why lots of people are budget avoidant. Acronym alert. They can be boring and unbearable and difficult and grueling and exhausting and tedious, and that's true, they can be. But they can also be fun. If you stick with me until the end of this talk, then I'm hoping that you will find it to be a bit of an e-ticket ride, and you will be energized and encouraged and maybe even excited to do your own budget. I think the best place to start is you've got to come up with a reason for why you're budgeting in the first place. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get down the road, you're going to not want to do it, you're going to want to give up. But if you can go back to your why am I doing this in the first place, it'll help get you back on track. Some things that could be a possibility. So one could be for security, you know, like having an emergency fund. Another could be to get out of debt. And another could be to have you have a goal. Maybe there's something you want to get a new RV, buy some land, some big major purchase. Or maybe it's as simple as, like, my reason is just for some peace of mind. I do budgeting so that I kind of mitigate those unexpected things that come up in life. So once you find your why, there's several different methods of budgeting. I'm going to share 3 with you. So one is called the cash envelope method. You literally take your paycheck, your income, you turn it into cash, you put it into categories, and then you put that money in an envelope. It's very practical. It's very tangible. You start with the money in, you spend it, it's gone. Guess what? You're done for the month. You're cut off until you get your next paycheck. This one is really good for people who are kind of guilty of overspending. You know, it's just a little too easy to keep using that credit card and the debt card. So that's that method. Another one is the percentage method. Now it's actually called 50, 30, 20. And it's really flexible, right? Because it's going to go by percentages. You're going to take whatever your income is, and you're going to take 50% of it. That's going to go to necessities. You're going to take 30% of it, and that's going to go for wants. And then 10% of it is going, or excuse me, 20%. 20% of it is going to go to savings or repaying debt. And that one's really good for beginners, right? Because it doesn't like box you in real tightly. It's also really good if you don't have fixed income, but you have inconsistent income, because then you're always just, like I said, dealing with the percentages, not a fixed amount, and you just 50, 30, 20. The last one I'm going to bring up today is it's called zero-based budgeting. Basically what it means is you take your income, you subtract your expenses, and that has to equal zero, because every single dollar is allocated to something. And that method is really good if, like I said, if you have a fixed or set income, right? Because you know exactly what you're going to get and you can allocate every dollar. And it's also really good for if you have a goal, like going back to your why and your motivation. If yours is a goal, then you can put that set amount for your goal and be contributing regularly to that. So you might be sitting there saying, yeah, that's great, but Rometown Girl, which one's right for me? Never fear. I've got a quiz. I'm going to make this really simple. I am going to read you 5 questions. You are going to answer each of the 5 questions with either an A, a B, or a C. And when I'm done, you're just going to take a look. And if you have mostly A's, I'm going to tell you what that means. Mostly B's, tell you what that means. Mostly C's, tell you what that means. And that's going to hopefully help you identify which of those budgeting strategies fits you really well, given your personality. Okay, ready? Question number 1. You have $100 extra. Do you A, put it towards bills, B, add it to savings, or C, treat yourself to something nice? Okay, question number 2. How do you grocery shop? Do you A, prepare a list? Do you B, shop as needed based on whatever you're cooking that week? Or C, do you go in with a general idea of what you know you want? Okay, question number 3. How do you do household chores? A, do you create a list and check things off? B, I have a routine I follow. Or C, I don't do it until I absolutely have to. All right, question number 4. You really need $3,000. Do you A, put away a set amount each pay period until you get your $3,000? Do you B, spend really carefully until your goal is reached? Or do you C, do some extra work, get a side gig to get the extra money? Last question, question number 5. What's your 5-year plan? Is it A, I know where I want to be in 5 years? B, not sure, but I do have goals? Or C, do people actually plan that far ahead? Okay, so here's your quiz results. If you answered mostly A's, you would probably do best with the zero-based budgeting method. If you answered mostly B's, then you're a really good candidate for the cash envelope method. And for those of you who answered with C, I bet you do really well with the 50, 30, 20 method. So now you know about some of the methods. Now you have an idea of which one fits you. How the heck do you get started? Well, you basically really only need two things. You need to know your income, which, sorry, I can't help you with that. That's a whole nother class. And you need to know your expenses, which we're basically going to translate into categories. When it comes to categories, my thought is, why start from scratch? Why reinvent the wheel? Down in the description, I've asked them to include two lists of categories. Use the ones that apply to you, toss out the ones that don't, add the ones that didn't even occur to me, and that'll give you a starting point. When you organize your categories, I have two thoughts on how to do it. So if you have a fixed or set income, I recommend that you put your categories in the order of their due dates. For those of you who have inconsistent income, maybe you do seasonal work or you get paid by commission or, any of those possibilities, I organize the order of my categories by priority. I had to pay the rent, I had to pay the insurance, I put those things up at the top. Okay, that's picking your categories, that's ordering your categories. But how much should you put for each of those categories, right? So of course, some of them are going to be hopefully fixed and obvious, like rent is rent and insurance is insurance, and those things are always the same. But gas can kind of be whatever you say, and groceries can kind of be whatever you say. So for those, I have a couple of choices for you. So one is to, like, for gas, the way I came up with my number is I just paid attention to what it kind of costs to fill my tank. I mean, of course, gas prices fluctuate, but basically it's always around $100. So you got to start somewhere. So I just use that as a starting point. And then in a minute, I'll talk about adjusting. And of course, you can adjust if that doesn't seem to be accurate. Another one is to actually track what are you spending. And I just think the easiest way to do that would be for like a month, just always get a receipt. Always get a receipt. Just collect all those receipts. And then when you're ready to sit down, you can like spread those receipts all out and you can really take a look at where have you been, what are you buying, and how much you're spending on those things. Those of you that are more like, tech savvy, the two apps that people really love for tracking receipts, it makes it really easy, is one is called Expensify, kind of like Shopify, but Expensify.com. The other one, it's FO Receipts. and .com. Some more ideas on how to select at least starter amounts to plug in. So you've got a starting point. Credit cards. I found out, I knew how much my minimum payment was, and I plugged that in. I mean, if I could pay more, awesome. But if things were tight, at least I had budgeted for the minimum amount of a credit card. And look at your big annual purchases, car registration, whatever those big things are, the vet for the dogs, divide it by 12, come up with what you think or what you've spent, divide it by 12 and put that number in. Let me talk about the credit card for a minute. This is sort of a little side note and another strategy. So I have credit cards, but they don't have balances. But I still put the minimum amount away every month and I let that build up. The reason being is one day I could have some repair or something on the RV that is beyond my ability to have funds for today, and I'm going to have to put it on the credit card. But what I'm not going to have to worry about is how am I going to pay the credit card, because I have at least allocated paying the minimum amount. And if I have a bit of reserve, who knows, maybe I can pay even a little bit more of a chunk of it. You don't have to worry if you're wrong with your numbers. Just start somewhere. You can adjust. I think like 2 to 3 months, you'll kind of see what's really what. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's make this fun. time. How are we going to take all this stuff and actually want to do it on the regular? So here's some of my ideas for you. So the first thing is color. Make things colorful. Like, you know, I didn't go with boring white envelopes. You can make a budget box. Get some fun pens. Maybe they're green and sparkly. And when you open your box and you take these things out, it needs to feel fun and festive. You can make a music playlist, and that'll help, you know, kind of get you in the mood. Schedule a play date. Get a fun tablecloth. Get a green tablecloth. You can come up with some nicknames for your accounts. Like maybe it's based on one of your goals. Use a clicker, one of these clickers. Every time you put something in your basket based on the price, you use the clickers. For those of you that want something more comprehensive, you can text GTB, stands for Get the Budget, to 33789. There is YNAB.com, stands for You Need a Budget. And then there's also Mint. Wait, Mint, hold on. I can't make it go. Mint.com. Final thought. My hope is that you will feel a sense of control over your money and not like your money's controlling you. And that you can actually train your money to help you attain the goals that are important to you and that you really want to achieve. Maybe even something you look forward to. Is that asking too much?
That was some very good teaching. I think you got a lot out of it. But this was a condensed version. So to see the entire thing, including questions and answers, where do they need to go?
You can go to the Homes on Wheels Alliance YouTube channel. In your search bar, just type in Homes on Wheels Alliance and it'll come up.
And once there will be a playlist there of all the RTR videos in their entire length. So there'll be a lot more info there than this condensed version. Well, I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later.